Hello and welcome to my presentation on doing a live partition mobility move. In this presentation I'm going to take a LPAR from my 750 server and I'm going to move it to my 740 server. You can see on the 750 that I have an LPAR. Right now over on the 740 all of my LPARs start with B740 to identify them, and on the 750 they start with B750. The LPAR we're looking at is B750NL2, which is LPAR ID 13, and it has 4 CPUs and 8 GB of memory. I have an NMON session open, and in this you can actually see that the current serial number is set to one that ends with 48, which matches the serial number for the 750. The serial number old is set to blanks because at this point the only one that matters is the current serial number. If we check in with VIO server 1, what you'll see as we get to the virtual adapters is you'll see that B750NL2 has a server fiber channel adapter, which is NPIV, and that is adapter ID 5 on VIO server 1, and its client adapter is 37. It also has a vSCSI, which is server adapter 4 and partner adapter 27. And that vSCSI is there because I attach the CD sometimes. During an LPM move you cannot have a CD attached. Alright, if we now look at the actual LPAR and we go to the virtual adapters, if we look at adapter 37, what you're going to see is that's my client fiber channel, and you'll see the worldwide port numbers. The one at the top, which ends 10, is the live port number. That's the one I'm currently using, and 11 is the one that live partition mobility will use during the move. And you'll also see a similar thing when we look at adapter 47, where it is 12 will be the active one and 13 is the one for the live partition mobility move. All storage needs to be zoned to all 4 of those worldwide port numbers. So at this point, if you have a look, you'll see under operations you'll see mobility, and that's actually what we're going to use to do the move. But we'll go down to the bottom, and down here we'll click on mobility and we'll do a validate, and I always do a validate before I do a move. So in this case you'll see that it lists the 750 and the LPAR name, and that it's going to move it to the 740. Now it defaulted to the 740 because that is the only other server that I have that has a mover service partition. We click on validate and it goes off and it performs the validation, and here it's checking to make sure I haven't done anything really dumb like got a virtual optical attached. In this case it noticed that I had an open virtual terminal session, so I had a console open. So what it tells me is that when it does the migration it's going to terminate that console. I went off and I disconnected from it just now, so that won't be an issue. So we check the validate page, it looks like everything was fine, so now we click on migrate. And to give you an idea, a migration of an LPAR with 192 GB of memory takes an order of about 65 minutes or so if it's not really busy. So in this case we only have 8 GB of memory, so it will be quicker. One of the things you'll notice is at this point it has now populated the serial number old. And right now old and current match, they both end with 48. So this is telling me that it knows it's doing a move and that it has the same serial number on both because nothing has moved yet. Alright, on the 740 nothing has popped up there yet, but what you'll see in a couple of minutes is that the B750NL2 will pop up there in a migrating status. Here it is. So far it's not activated, so it's just done all the definitions, and then it will go into migrating not activated status, and over time that status will change and there'll be some reference codes. Meanwhile on the 750 it shows as migrating and running, and currently our migration is still at 0% because what it's been doing is just doing definitions. Alright, so here's our SSH back again, and as you can see the NMON is still showing the same serial numbers. In the meantime on the HMC a 2005 status has popped up, and what that's telling me is the migration is now active. It's now starting to move things from the 750 to the 740. So at this point, we're just waiting for the migration to continue till it gets to about 98%. Around the 98-99% marker, you'll start to see some of these statuses changed and the serial numbers will change. And the flags that I'm using on the Nmon, by the way, are the R and the P flag, because those give me the resources and the logical partitions. They're quite useful anytime you do a live partition mobility move. It's quite useful to have those up, because then you can monitor what is happening. Alright, we're at 98%, and you'll see that the two serial numbers are still the same. Our status just changed in the reference code to a C200 1050, and that means that we're in the very final stages. So this is where we start to pay a lot more attention to those serial numbers, because we should see the current serial number change very, very shortly. And we just did. If you look down at current, it now ends with 4C, but old ends with a 48. So we are now over on the 740, and we're just doing the last few moves of pages of memory. Alright, so it now says it's 100% complete. It's not going to let me close it yet, because even when it says 100% complete, there's still a little bit of cleanup work that it has to do. You'll see that that reference code hasn't changed. Do not click on the X to close that. Wait till you can actually click on close. I've accidentally clicked on the X before and did bad things to my live partition mobility move. So what we're waiting for here is for that code to go away over here, and for the B750 NL2 LPAR to just disappear, which it just did. So it is now completely over on the 740. And if we go look at the 740, we will now see that that LPAR is running. So the move is complete at this point. And now, in the interim, I actually moved it back to the R750. But you'll actually see here, this is just before I moved it back, you'll actually see that in the uname, the serial number here changed. So we now know that we are on the 740 still. Here we can see that our server adapter is 4 and our client adapter is 27 for the BSCSI. And I'm just double checking all of those. Okay, in the meantime, I now moved it back to the 750. So we're back with the LPAR running on the 750, and now we're going to have a look at some of the definitions that we have. So we are LPAR ID 13 and we are vhost 3. So for our virtual SCSI, you can see here that the D is a 13 actually, and we are vhost 3. That's the adapter 4 that you'd see on the BIO1, and at this point in time there is nothing attached to that adapter. And that is correct, because I'm not using virtual optical and I don't have any vSCSI disk. But down here's my definition where the 4 maps across. Alright, if we now look at the NPIV definition, so that is VFC host 3, it actually tells you that it is client ID 13. It gives me the server fiber channel where it says C5, that's the 5. And it tells me that I have one fiber adapter, FCS0, logged in. So right now I have VFC host 3 is logged into there, plus I have 2 other things additionally logged into that port. So this is how I tell that I actually am connected with the NPIV adapter. And again, you can see that the LPAR is running quite happily on the 750. And that's basically everything that's involved in terms of doing the actual live partition mobility move. If this was an inactive partition mobility move, we would have shut the LPAR down and moved it while it was down. And that takes about 30 to 40 seconds. So hopefully you find this little demonstration helpful. And I look forward to putting together more demonstrations of some of the technologies that we offer with Power. Thank you.